You've not had an offer like that?
Three men close to a midlife crisis, 3 microphones, 1 Zoom call, all lead to this. 3 men and a microphone on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
Evening.
3 men and a microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And it's a podcast. So nothing like a breakfast show, really.
Hello, good evening. Hello. Oh, hang on, what's going on there? Right, there we go. Oh. Great start, Ian. Wonderful. Just as we mean to go on. Hello. Can everybody hear me, by the way? Damien, can you... Oh, hello. Yes?
Yeah, we can hear you, Slick. Yeah.
Oh, hello. My headphones have just backed
It actually sounds like my Wendy Disco.
Hello. I apologise. That's a fantastic start. Right, can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My headphones completely just packed up on me then. Anyway, good evening. I won't try that again with some music for now. Welcome. This is the As Yet Unnamed podcast live. My name is Ian Barstow, joined by Damien Lee and Mr. Darren Antrobus. Welcome to 3 Men and a Microphone, episode number 38. Gentlemen, 38 already. What is that about? We are live on Facebook and YouTube. We were hoping we were going to be live on Twitter, but it didn't work at the very last minute. So, hey-ho, we will try that again for next week. Anyway, Darren, how are you, by the way?
Yeah, I'm very, very, very well, yeah. Are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I'm asking because I care, you know. I'm a caring guy.
Good. Yeah, I'm fine. It's just one of those, one of those days today.
I'm all right. I'll be all right when everything gets busted up with the school kids because I've got Michaela Strachan sitting downstairs thinking that she's on whack-a-day again.
1st of March at the minimum, at the earliest, I think it is.
Yeah, whatever.
Now. Yeah. Hello, evening, Damien.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're getting a lot. It was going to be after half term, and now we're looking at, I think, week commencing the 8th of March. I'm with many parents myself. Homeschooling of my 5-year-old in the morning. My wife then takes over and homeschools the 9-year-old. Yeah, it's tough on all of us, and that's one of the reasons we do this show, to have a bit of light relief, get the kids to bed, crack open a bit of vino, bit of Blue Nun, who knows, maybe a bit of White Lightning.
Blue Nun and White Lightning.
White Lightning. Do you remember Diamond White in 2020?
Oh, a bit of Diamond White, I do. I was always a hooch guy.
Oh, no.
Hooch. That was a ladies' drink, wasn't it? Like Baby Sham.
Anyway, good evening to everybody that's watching us. We've only got... let's have a look at the comments on Facebook. I've just realised I'm in there. We've only got Dunk on, who's commented at the moment. So, hello, good evening, Dunk. Hope you're doing well.
We've got Stacey as well. So, hi to Stacey. She's watching on Watch Party as well. Can we just start by saying, I know we're going to talk about it in the main show, just on this bit. Thank you to Joe Lycett for making last week's show the biggest we've ever done.
It is the biggest live show, the biggest rewatch of the live show, and one of the best podcast downloads we've had ever since we started over the last week. So thank you so much to Joe for coming up. If you haven't listened to it already, go and listen, subscribe and follow the podcast. Just search the As Yet Unnamed podcast on any of your podcast feeds and you'll find us on there. Click on follow and we appear every single Monday on your podcast feed. So then when you're out walking the dogs on your daily exercise or you're driving to work or you're going to the supermarket, whatever, you can have us and our dulcet tones in your ears, very close and personal. Have both of you listened to this week's episode of the podcast?
I have indeed, yes. I had it on in the office. I've got to say, I did do a few lols. I did do a few little laugh out louds, but it was great. I mean, the interaction that we had with Joe, the feedback on it, and on the back of that, we have got some more guests coming on over the next few weeks. What we don't want to do is, obviously, this is still 3 men and a microphone, but we do want to get some more guests on that we're in talks with at the moment.
Well,
but sometimes we have to deal with agents, mate.
Yes.
And with the agents, they like to go through a few little things. So I'll be dealing with some of the agents, mate.
We do have we're trying to get some people, if they don't come for the full live show, we're trying to get to the Retro Hall of Fame, and we have got a Retro Hall of Fame which Darren recorded today, which we will I'm not going to tell you who it is, but was his hit single in the 90s.
I thought you were doing that because you quite like him as well.
Well,
I was going to say, was that like was that the Incredible Hulk there? Or?
At the time, he was a bit of a sex symbol.
I had a phone call about that earlier.
What
is it, Kavanagh?
I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to wait now. You're going to have to wait. It will be coming up in a couple of weeks.
Kavanagh. Let's take that, isn't it?
Cavender. There was a pop star called Cavender.
There was.
Anyway, hello to also Lynn and David Holland, who are watching. Anthony, who is of course watching, and he said I'm here and did comment. Well, I didn't see it, Anthony. Don't get too antsy. I didn't see it. It's not my fault. And Colin and Bryn, who are listening as well, and everybody else. Right, should we do this, gentlemen?
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm just going to make sure I've got my faders right. Right, I was using the wrong fader. That's why that sounded weird. Right, this is episode 38, 3 Men and a Microphone. We are recording. We are ready to go. Enjoy.
3 men and a microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And...
Sorry, bear with me. Right, okay, thank you. Okay. Sorry, producer was just telling me something from downstairs.
I wouldn't mind him telling me something.
Shut up. Right, let's try that again.
3 men and a microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And it's a podcast. So nothing like a breakfast show, really.
It's Monday. You need cheering up. Well, you're listening to The Right Show. This is 3 Men and a Microphone on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
Evening. How's everybody doing? Well, it's not evening, it's morning, isn't it? It gets very confusing. It's lockdown and all of that. Welcome to the show. 3 Men and a Microphone from the As Yet Unnamed podcast. My name is Ian Barstow. Hello, how are you doing? If you're listening to this following last week's episode with Joe Lycett, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for giving us a listen and giving us a follow. It's much appreciated. I'm joined, as ever, by Mr. Darren Antrobus. Hello, Darren.
Hello, Captain. How are you doing this week? You all right?
Yes, not bad, thank you. We plod along in our never-ending world of lockdown.
Oh, you sound like a character from Wallace and Gromit. We plod along, Wally.
Well, we do plod along. It never changes. Hello, Damien Lee. How are you?
Do you know what it does? It's almost like Bill Murray, and we are doing the same every day. But do you know what? That's why we do this show, because it's all about having a giggle. And tonight, this morning, I feel like I'm Graham Norton. What day are we? Monday morning, 1st of the month. Of course we are. 1st of February. How are you? So we're going to make you giggle this morning, and I'm looking forward to today's show. Actually, I've seen the running order, which hopefully we will follow in some manner. Because last week, to be fair, I mean, I don't know, anyone think he's a proper celebrity. Joe bloody likes it. I had Damien's bits axed. We had the telly axed. In all fairness, the show was axed, apart from us going, "Hiya, Joe. I love you, Joe. Ooh, Joe."
It was a very good episode, though. I
He
was.
ended off by saying he hated me. Can't stand. Never liked him anyway.
Well, yeah, you know. He's got good taste. Coming up on today's show, we've got On The Box. We're going to be talking about one show. Well, I'm going to be talking about one show in the main, but we'll get to that in a bit. We've got Damien's Bits and we've got the Retro Hall of Fame, and this week it is Damien's choice for the Retro Hall of Fame, so that could be interesting. But as ever, we start with a little bit of news, a little bit of random chat, and all of that sort of stuff. Now, I came across a list of the world's worst jobs. So, this is a list.
Is radio presenter on there by any chance?
No, broadcasting is on there. But this is a list. It's not a top 10. There was like 25. So I've picked out some of the highlights that are on this list for worst jobs. One that is very close to me and Damien's heart is a telemarketer. Now we have both.
Sorry, telesales?
No, telemarketers. We're not telesales.
Very big difference.
Yes.
Very big difference. Now, the funny thing about this, for people that watch the show and listen to the show, will know that, Darren is the radio DJ and has his own show every morning. Me and Ian, obviously, we did something that made money. So we...
That's very true. It's very true.
I run a recruitment company. I know, I jest. So I've got a recruitment company. Now I'm having a feeling that most of the jobs that are on this list we either hire for, recruit for, or currently have people out working in. Well, so if I remain slightly quiet on some of these, it's because I love my clients, all of them.
I think some of these probably are not on your list, but yeah, telemarketer is one of them. And both me and Damien used to work for a telemarketing company, but we were business-to-business sales, not home sales. We were very, 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 very adamant about saying that to people. We don't call you at home and say, do you want PPL? And all of that sort of thing. Or PRS. No, that's radio. Anyway, Ian, move on. Also on there is cleaners, which is, I think cleaners do an amazing job in hundreds of companies or thousands of companies around the world.
Now, can I just say, actually, so when I was doing my A-levels at school, one of my jobs was cleaning in Tesco. So it was for like an hour for a company, not Tesco. So it was like its own cleaning company. My dedicated job was cleaning the Travelator. So my job,
Tesco's in Redditch.
Yeah,
the one that goes to the second floor. That one.
Yeah, but it was the one that was in the town centre back in the day.
Yes.
So I had to clean the Travelator, which, for people that don't know what they are, if you're in America, because we know we've got American listeners and also people in India. Hi. A Travelator is basically like a Travelator, like what are they, escalators, but it's like flat. So if you imagine you've got a trolley and you want to take a trolley on escalators, you couldn't because they're steps. Well, the Travelator is completely flat. So my job was cleaning the glass on it and
glass.
Thank you. And the black plastic bit as well. So, and yeah, I mean, how I stretch that out for 2 hours a night, I've no idea.
Couldn't you, cleaning the black plastic bit, could you not just stand at the bottom and just let it go over the cloth?
Yeah,
you wouldn't
but
have to move.
That, did they? I said I had to go all the way. No, because it wasn't on you, Pratt. I was on it.
Well, just turn it on.
You know the grooves in the Travelator, the grooves where your feet are?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. What would you use to clean them bits with? Like,
I didn't get involved in the grooves.
Didn't you?
No, I was just glass and plastic.
Glass.
They didn't trust you enough.
I'm surprised you don't say plastic.
I didn't have a groove machine. Although at one point my heels got stuck in them. Let's move on.
That wouldn't surprise me. Right, so let me rattle through some of these. Some of the others on there are lorry drivers, customer service advisors, miners, traffic wardens. My uncle was a traffic warden for years and years and years, and he just used to laugh at people that he gave tickets to because don't park where you shouldn't do. Anyway, slaughterhouse workers.
So it ran in the family then?
Yeah, pretty much. Slaughterhouse worker. No, thank you. I eat meat, but I don't want to know where it comes from.
I've got friends that live near an abattoir. And,
Yes.
I went to one, and where the lane was, it was a dead end.
Brilliant. Let me make a note of that, not to use that on air.
Do you know what I need? I need a
No, you need one of those tumbleweed sounds.
Wasted. Absolutely wasted.
Right, some of the other ones. So we've got a roadkill collector, which is people that basically go out and pick up dead animals. One particular one I like is an animal masturbator. So,
No,
yes,
that's not an-
yes,
what?
it is. It is a legitimate job because there are times when semen needs to be collected from an animal for fertilisation and study, and there are people that do that. It's particularly, if it's like you're trying to make farming or horses or stuff like that.
Adam on Country File do that.
Yes, yeah. Do you know what the human equivalent for that is called?
Go on.
It's a fluffer.
It is actually.
In the
There
porn
is
industry,
on,
there is a job called a
there is.
fluffer.
Yeah, normally
we just-
people in the background. Yeah, would you say though, for people that have to do that job, you got to hand it to a
Oh, fantastic. Can we just go back to that Adam on Country File does that. I've seen how they do that, They get the cow all excited, try and mount the cow
do
on
they
the
do
cow
that,
in front,
Darren?
and then they whisk the other cow away. They tease the
Right.
cow. Do you know that?
Yes.
You
Yes,
know
because I
that?
have probably watched that. I have watched that, or Yorkshire Vet or something like that.
This is what I love about this show. Last week we had a proper A-list celebrity, and this week we're talking about totting off a cow.
Yeah, I say, what did you do at work today, dear? Well, I did a bit of king and a little bit of that. Yeah, it's all good. There is other things as well, like a paint dry watcher. So there is people that are paid to watch paint dry in paint factories, and also an odour tester. Now, you and me may think, oh, odour, like perfume or, sort of like that. You spray it and you walk through it and you go, oh, very nice. No, these are people that are paid.
How's it go again?
Oh, very nice, something like that. These are people that are paid to basically take sniffs of people's body odors when testing things like deodorants and scientific stuff like that. So there is people that spend all day sniffing people's armpits. So yes, so I think I'm going to aim to be an animal masturbator, and if I can't do that, I'm going to be a odor tester. So there you go.
We had someone phoned up and said, right, I just wonder if your company could help. And I was like, yeah, of course, we're always we're open for new clients. And they said, we'd like a river warden. I don't really know what a river warden is. And they said, well, basically, someone's going to stand in the river with a ruler and measure the water. A river warden.
Why would
there
you not
you
just
go.
put a stick? Why would you not just install one of those measuring things you see at the side of rivers?
I don't know, but he got the job and he said, can I stream it?
Oh, very good. Very good. Incidentally, I have
Oh dear me!
Can I stream it?
I have actually had a normal job, Before I became a well-known radio presenter.
Was it as a kebab shop owner?
No, it wasn't. No, it was actually it was in Stoke-on-Trent when I was about 18,
Was it
19.
for being the stand-in for those guys from Britain's Got Talent, the father and son, and the one Flavlo
Stavros-
Flatley?
Stop it, Stavros Flatley. No.
Now, this is where, at one of the shows, please at that bit, because you like to do your little animated things, just have a little Stavros down there. Honestly, amazing.
Right, no. Basically, I did a job with a company in Stoke-on-Trent when I was about 18, 19. Stop it. For a company called Frailings Furniture,
Great company.
where we used to lift settees and armchairs into a lorry. And I was a trainee doing that. It didn't last very long. Then I got a gig at Signal, so then I left. So yeah,
That's what I love about your stories, though,
Well,
Darren. That,
Darren, how long have you been doing radio? How many years?
20 odd. No, more than that. I was about 18 when I got my first gig.
Well, I got sent something this week. I don't know if it's a stalker or just a fan. But I got sent a little clip of you. Now, I'm not sure when this is from and when this particular thing is, but you obviously started, you obviously corpsed back then because you corpsed on this. But I don't know when this was from. So let me just play this.
From the 1990s, it's a club classic on The Breakfast Show this morning. It's very nearly 7:15. It's Monday morning, very wet and miserable outside. But having said that, I've got some brilliant news about how you can lose weight. And it's very simple. All you got to do is sunbathe first thing in the morning. If you do it in the morning, it helps you lose weight. I'm going to put the link to this on our Facebook page, 101.8 WCRFM. But isn't that brilliant news? It's a second way of losing weight whilst lying on your back. It's brilliant.
Keeping you on the move with WCRFM Travel News.
On the roads across Wolverhampton, it's looking all right at the moment. But if you spot anything else, then let me know. Text me on 60300 WCRFM or send me. Oh dear me, something just made me laugh. Or send me a text. Tell you what, I'll play a tune first.
Something just made you laugh. Something made me laugh. When was that from? And what was the station name?
WCR, Wolverhampton City Radio.
Seriously, by the time you said the radio station, I was knackered. Welcome back, it's Darren. Welcome to WRI 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, ABC 212, Jingle Bob Bob. Okay.
It was very much an American type of radio station name, because a lot of American stations are like KVMC 92.4 or something like that.
It was just Wolverhampton City Radio, WCR.
And how long ago was that?
Were you a child?
Got to be 8 years ago, 9 years ago. About that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, you still corpse then, and you corpse now every so often.
Yeah. How did you get that, by the way?
I don't know. It came via email, and that is all I am saying. So it could well be you have a stalker.
There's a website called Air Check Downloads. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
And there's loads of radio fails on there and people just messing up and all that kind of stuff on there. So I bet it's come from there, I bet you.
Maybe your guy's on there, the top ever radio presenter that was voted by a mass number of people. And it was the most famous person that we actually voted as best radio presenter. And his name was, Darren?
It was Paul Carrington.
Let's move on.
No, going back to that clip, incidentally, I don't know what I was laughing at because on The Breakfast Show, I'm on my own. So but
there's that thing that radio presenters do, and everybody's guilty of it. They'll sort of go, and coming up next, and coming up next, we've got this. We've got this. That record.
That's called a padding laugh. What you're on about? That wasn't. I was actually coursing at myself.
Oh, Darren, seriously. This is why we do the show. There's three of us because you don't need to pad on your own. It's probably what you did with the cow.
Yeah, you were rubbish then. You're rubbish now.
Three men close to a midlife crisis, 3 microphones, 1 Zoom call, all lead to this. 3 men and a microphone on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
We are a small and dedicated team this evening on Facebook Live, so thank you if you're sticking around. What are we doing now? What are we doing now, Damien? Damien, what are we doing now?
Are we doing On the Box, or is it Damien Bits?
No, I think it's time for On the Box. I think we need to go for it.
On the Box. Okay, right. Let me get some music. That one. This might give you some bad memories, Damien. It's a top 5 talk heavy music, but it's fine. We'll keep.
No, that's fine. Can you also, just a side note, can we do a clean edit in a sec? Can you send me the YouTube link, please?
How would one want that? Would one want that on Facebook Messenger?
And Darren, if you make sure you can pay me as well tomorrow, that'd be great. You know what I mean? That'd be nice, maybe. I know we own a company together. Yeah.
Yes, if people did notice,
that lost a viewer.
Yeah, we're now down to 2. Well, we are down to blimey. Right. Let me just paste that into Facebook Messenger. There you go, Damien.
Lovely. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
I love that. Thank you.
Are we ready for a clean edit?
I think so. If you just give me one moment, please. Can we go to a jingle?
I've just played a jingle. It's fine. We can talk. I can just clean edit. It's all right.
Yeah.
Hello to Anthony, who says, it's your dirty mind, Darren. Lose weight whilst on your back.
I used to be edgy, by the way. Used to be edgy. Incidentally, I've got a little story. Do you want me to do it now or not?
Yeah, go for it.
You know these people that have been seen or caught out by digging a hole to stop HS2 somewhere?
Yes, I haven't read. I sort of saw it this morning and thought, what? And then didn't actually read the story.
So I've got a question for you both. How do you dig a hole that big and that long underneath a small park without anybody noticing?
Well, they probably watched The Great Escape.
Or The Shawshank Redemption. You got away with that with a poster.
So they probably watched some of those movies and thought, actually, no, we can do that. We can tunnel underneath.
It's a film. You can't do that in real life. Somebody's going to go, well, yeah, mate.
Darren, you do know The Great Escape was based on a real story, don't you? And they did actually do that.
I don't know.
Anyway, right, Damien, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Going well. Clean edit. Right, it is time for On the Box. This is where we give you our recommendations and what we've been watching over the last week. And I am going to start because there is one show that I really have to talk about because it's bloody fantastic, and probably one of my favourite TV dramas of years. It started on Channel 4 on Fridays. You can watch it all on all four, and it's if you listen in America, it's coming to HBO Max later on in February, I think it is. From the wonderful pen of Russell T Davies. It is probably one of the most powerful dramas I have watched in years. It sucker punched me completely by the end of it. We're not going to spoil it. We're not going to give spoilers out because people are watching it. Either people have binged it or people have watched it or watching it week on week. But it's a sin from Russell T Davies, and it is absolutely fantastic. And Damien watched it before me. And he sent me a message on Facebook, and he was going, I'm crying my eyes out. And I was like, oh yeah, it can't be that much. I watched 3 episodes last night, and I watched episode 3 to episode 5, and by the end of it, I was in tears. And it takes a lot for me to cry at a TV or movie, but that just absolutely floored me. It just
and again, we won't reveal too much about it, but it starts in 1981, and it's at the very infancy of the AIDS pandemic coming to the UK. And there's a really poignant moment where one of the lead characters is checking out this really handsome guy, and there's a couple of schoolgirls right next to him who are talking about this virus that's been rumoured in America. And it goes through quite a few years, and it's the stigma, it's the fear. It's almost quite poignant to where we are now, but with now it's obviously coronavirus. The characters are warm. There's a lady called Jill who's in it, who's so caring, and there's a real life Jill as well. If you're a fan of programs like Queer as Folk or Cucumber or Banana or any of those programs that have been on in the past, there's a lot of pathos in it. There's a lot of innuendo and fun. And people say this lightly. It's an emotional roller coaster, but it really is. And I think because we've all been in lockdown at the moment, it's one of those where you find you're not just crying about that program. You're generally crying for crying. I mean, I was like bawling. When I say crying, I mean I was literally like, yeah. My other half was the same as well, and it's full on. But do you know what? The writing in it makes you think, it makes you reflect. Even the advert from the pandemic of AIDS back in the 80s, I remember vividly. 7:30 EastEnders was about to come on, and then there was this big monologue with the word AIDS on it, and some flowers being thrown at it. It was scary, and I was petrified of it, but it really resonated with a lot of people. And
well, there was some comment, and I can't remember who it's from, but it was something along the lines of, "Oh, we're in the great pandemic of our time," and it's like, well, AIDS and HIV and AIDS has killed approximately 35 million people around the world since it was first discovered in about 1979-ish, something like that. And there is a very, very striking bit in that show where one of the parents says, if a load of straight boys were dying of this, it would be the biggest scandal ever. But because it was just a gay disease, as they called it, it was sort of like, we don't need to bother with this. We're not interested. We're not going to fund it. We're not going to advertise or campaign about it or anything like that. And it is that whole thing, and it's very much of the time. And we have moved a long way, but we haven't moved quite far enough. But I want to give a shout out. Actually, before I do that, Darren. Now, I said to you, watch one episode of this before we start talking about it. Now, you watched the first episode, which has gone out on Channel 4, so we can talk about this. Is there one particular bit? You sent us a message on Facebook, and it was sort of like and it's like, was there one particular scene in that sort of made you go a bit like, what's all that about?
No. I've worked in nightclubs, all my life, and I'm pretty used to men showing affection to each other. It doesn't bother me. Don't really care about it. I'm a big, I've got gay mates, but to see it on screen, it still made me. I don't mean to be offensive, but it still makes me go, oh. Do you understand what I'm getting at, though?
No, well, I do actually. To be fair, I do. But
we've come such a long way.
We have.
Even from, I think it was like 1988 when Colin was in EastEnders, and he gave a little kiss on the cheek to his partner in it, and it made the front of the sun, and I won't say the word that it said, but it was really derogatory. East something, but it wasn't Enders, it was something else.
That's because the Sun hounded people and outed them because of the stigma that was involved in it. That's the type of press and attitude of the era, which we have thankfully come a long way. I still want to get back to that one particular bit, because I know there's a scene in there that Darren watched, that Damien, it was one of the first scenes in Queer as Folk. And they sort of recreated it in that, but it didn't quite go that far. We'll go back to the odor sniffer, that particular one. I had visions of Darren watching that and just him suddenly going,
"Yeah,
what?"
And do you know what? Fair play for Darren as well, because we're not just sitting on the gay rights straight.
Right, listen, can I? And sorry, Damon, I just want to butt in for a second because I want to explain. I don't want people to think that I'm homophobic, and you two guys know I am not, right? But I was brought up by my folks who are really old school, and I'm talking, I've got older parents, so my mum is 75. My dad was 45 when he had me, right? So all of that, even when I was listening to Queen records or George Michael records, or I was listening to Elton John, my dad would make jokes, right? And that would make me feel uncomfortable. As an adult person, it wasn't until I started DJing in nightclubs that I had to explain to my dad as an older man and say, look, this is normal, mate, Dad. This is doesn't matter anymore,
Yeah.
I had to have that conversation with my dad.
You were educating him.
Yeah.
And how far we've come, even attitudes from Brookside when Anna Friel had her first gay kiss, and I mean, you now see two guys kissing on Hollyoaks at 6:30. You're always going to have stigma in all sorts of things and opinions, but going away slightly from the political side of it, do you know what? There's light and shade in the show.
It's
fun.
It is. It's funny.
Fun. It's sad.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Straight, gay. It's something that I think honestly anyone can watch. It is a great show,
and it's also something that everybody should be aware of. The AIDS crisis, and that is still going on. It's still rampant in African countries and third world countries, which, although I don't like that term, but it is still rampant, and it's still very serious here. There is still mass infections every single year. So it is something that
it has come down. What I will say,
it has.
In this country now, it has been dropping for the last 10 years.
And if you get it, you can live a very normal life by taking a couple of tablets a day. They have got so good with the medicine, but it is still something that needs to be younger gay people, younger straight people, because it's not just a gay disease. Younger people, it's all about that practicing of safe sex and all of that sort of stuff. That message still needs to be sort of drummed into people, but.
Yeah. It's, look, they want to eradicate it by 2030. And do you know what? The numbers are going down. If we can find something for coronavirus in a year, 2 people have already completely cured themselves of HIV. Different, maybe, yeah. It's with different.
I have read about that, and it was big news. And someone has been cured, but then apparently it came back. So I'm not quite sure how it was, but. It's something that they are spending millions of pounds on. Right. I want to give a very quick shout out to some of the people that were in it. Ollie Alexander, who is the singer from Years and Years.
Which I had no idea about.
He
But
is
he's
brilliant.
amazing.
He's
amazing.
fantastic in it. Or Mary Douglas, who is Roscoe. Callum Scott Howes, who plays Colin, and that was sad. Linda West, who plays Jill Baxter, who is brilliant. And if you've not watched Years and Years from Russell T Davies, she is in that, and that is fantastic. Also starring Nathaniel Curtis, Keely Hughes, who was brilliant as the mother. And I can't spoil it, but she was just fantastic. That at the end, she was brilliant. Sean Dooley, Neil Patrick Harris is in it. In the first episode, him of Doogie Howser fame,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
West End
Huge star.
legend.
Huge star.
And it's also got some other guest stars in there, like Stephen Fry and others as well. So yeah, if you haven't watched any of it yet, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you go and watch It's a Sin on all 4.
Okay, first thing, going away from what it's all based around, first of all, the soundtrack is great.
Always is in Russell T Davies stuff, always.
Right. I said to you on Facebook, didn't I? I think Russell T Davies is a great writer, but I can't tell that's been done by the Doctor Who guy.
Yes, because
I can't tell
I'll
that.
tell you why, because you haven't watched his other stuff. It is so
Right.
Russell T Davies, it is untrue. It's just so well done.
That's a sign of a good writer.
It is,
That's
definitely.
a sign of a good writer. It's a Sin, more 4, Channel 4, every Friday, and you can watch them all back to back. Amazing.
Amazing. I'm going to give one very quick recommendation, which I would both like you to try and watch at least one episode. If you like true crime dramas, there's one on Netflix called Night Stalker.
Yeah, I was talking about it in the office today.
I knew nothing about this case. I'd not heard of it at
Yeah.
all. Have you watched it?
No, I haven't. No, one of my managers talked to me about it, and they kind of, when someone explains something, and near the end, I was like, well don't.
We started watching it because it came up after we watched the Pembrokeshire things with Keith Allen in the other week.
I saw
Very
that.
good
Very good
programme.
as well.
Very good show.
We've started to get into those true crime things.
Night Stalker. I would, and if you liked Making a Murderer, which is one of the best crime dramas, crime documentaries, then you will love Night Stalker. So that's my recommendation. Right. Have you got any? Do you got any? Or are we happy to move on?
I've got
No,
one.
Darren, go on then. Go on, Darren.
Darren,
I've
yeah.
got one. So on the box then, what I've been watching this week is a film, and I don't know anywhere else. I'll do this quite quickly for you because I'm conscious of the time for you guys. I'm not aware of any other films that have taken a playground game and turned it into a very funny
Oh yes, I know.
film.
Yes.
Right. Ed Helms is in it, who was in the Hangover 3 film. Jeremy Renner is in it, who I think, did he play Arrow or somebody like that?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is one of them.
The photography on it, the action in it is very Matrix. So there's a lot of sudden movements and then it all slows down so you can see something, like go past you. Basically, they've made a film out of the game Tick. We called it Tick, but in America they call it Tag.
Tag.
Have you seen this film, Damien?
What do you call it,
No.
Darren?
Tick. Tick.
Tig.
No,
No,
that's,
Tick.
no, you've done it again.
It's
Sarah,
Tig.
haven't
It's Tig.
No.
It's not Tick. It's not.
Tick.
It's not Tick. It's Tig.
you? A tick, you nutter. Is something that sucks your blood or is on you. Like, get rid of the
It's no
tick.
contract. It's called Tick.
No, it's called Tig.
It's tick.
Anyway,
It's very
Can I
funny.
just say,
Very
when
funny.
you said it, I thought, what's he going on about here? A tick. A tick. Is that something that sucks its
It's
blood in it?
Tig, not Tig. Tick.
Anyway, have you seen this film?
Yes,
Ian?
it's really it.
Well, I will now. I know it's about tick, but before I'm not going to see it because that's something that leeches onto a dog.
It's actually loosely based and inspired by a true game of Tig that two friends did, where they literally escalated it over the years. So it started when they were younger, and it just carried on to
Yeah.
the point that
So it's a
one
true
of them,
story?
it's inspired by a true. It's inspired by a true story.
I have a game of Tig.
Yeah, literally, it got to the point where this person was getting married. This one friend that they were playing this game with said, "I'm really sorry, I can't make it. I'm posted abroad," or something like that. And he dressed up as a woman in the wedding in disguise and stood at the wedding and waited till he was saying his vows and pretty much walked up to him and went, "Tag." And walked off again, and it was just honestly, but it just escalated. It just got more and more elaborate, more and more funny. brilliant, really good film. It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I think
It is on Netflix.
Yeah, well worth a watch. Very good indeed. Right, that's our On the Box for this week. More for next week. Watch It's a Sin, because it's flipping fantastic.
It's Monday.
You need cheering up.
Well, you're listening to The Right Show
This is Three Men and a Microphone.
on the As Yet Unnamed podcast.
Darren Dunk says, Tig, you Pollock. I've never heard
steady
it
on.
called Tick. Ever heard it called Tick.
In come to Stoke-on-Trent.
Did you ever play British Bulldog?
We got banned from
Yeah,
it,
we
though.
got banned.
We got banned for it as well. I think it's a rite of passage to get it
I think
banned.
it must have been like a Melon thing. They banned it completely.
Wasn't it like something like a clothesline in a
It's,
I don't
it was
know,
British
what-
Bulldog 1, 2, 3, wasn't it? And you all stood at
That's
one.
all I remember.
Yeah, you all
you
stood at
have
one.
to run after.
Run after each other.
Run after
yeah.
each other, and then you literally had to sort of almost tackle them, I think, or something like that. But
Rugby
yeah,
tackle them to the ground or something, wasn't it?
something like that. Yes, but yes, we used to play that British Bulldog 1, 2, 3. It's the only bit I ever remember of it as well.
I imagine Darren in the playground running towards it, and he was like 10 and he'd have a beard. I'd be like, who is that guy?
Yeah, I look
The
like
child with the beard.
I look like the Repo Man from what it is wrestling or something.
Let's move on. Clean edit.
That obviously hit a nerve. Right, Damien, are you ready for your bits?
I certainly am.
Okay. And what about Blocky Off? Right, Anthony, I'm sorry. What are you mentioning? Blocky Off. Anyone heard Blocky Off?
Anthony's had a drink.
Yeah. No, never heard of that. Right, let's move on. This is Damien's bits. Clean edit.
Damien loves his bits.
He loves showing off his bits.
He loves talking about his bits.
So it's time.
For Damien's bits.
So this is the bit in the podcast that we hand over to Damien for his bits. Have you got a juicy bit for us today, Damien?
I've got 2 bits today
Ooh.
for you. Yeah, 2 bits.
Double
Now,
dose of bits.
Are they
fourth
dangling
one.
bits?
do you know what? This is more of a wet bit
Ooh.
and a juicy bit.
Oh,
I got dumped over a wet bit once.
juicy and
Now-
wet.
This is interesting because, Darren, you're a man that...
Sorry.
perverts.
Sorry.
That's staying in on the demo.
Darren, you're a man that likes a finger.
What?
So, now, I saw this, and again, when I do these, you've corpse, haven't you? You've gone.
He's not going to do this.
I don't know which one he's gone, a finger or the other one.
Okay.
Oh, it's so stupid. Right, sorry, David. Carry on.
Okay, now, you'll appreciate this, Darren, because this is probably something that you would do. And I can just see you doing it. Now, Ian, I love sometimes your facial expressions. And again, for people that download this, you'll hear sometimes Ian sighing about it as well. Now, this story came about on TikTok, and it was all about a woman that, quite frankly, she should be sentenced to life for doing this. She actually was filming this on TikTok. It was a Kit Kat that she decided to put under the tap and wash the chocolate off it.
Was she American by any chance?
Now, she took to TikTok to share how she eats her Kit Kat. Instead of breaking the bar, we've all done that, she washes the chocolate off. Do you know why? Because it's too sweet.
She's just weird.
Now, Darren, this is probably like you. Some people break it in half, tuck into a little bite of each one. Some people use it as a bit of a straw. Some people would nibble the end or nibble the bits of chocolate. But no, this woman actually likes to get it under the tap and give it a good wash.
Why though?
No, you put a Kit Kat, you break them in half. You got 2 fingers, you put them in tea.
Are you
Now,
a dunker?
There's also an audio on this as well, where during the video, she actually states, "My boyfriend gave me these as a present, but the chocolate on them is way too sweet. So I wash it under hot water, and you have a way healthier, delicious alternative."
Where's she from?
Sorry?
Where's she from?
Norwich.
No, sounded a bit Chester there,
Yes.
Welsh, Liverpool border.
So the boyfriend then zooms in on the now soaking wet wafer. And it's safe to say that at this point, dirty boys, the soaking wet wafer.
Zooms in.
And
Action!
It's safe to say that viewers were less impressed. One person on TikTok called her a lunatic. A nutter, another one cried. While another one fumed, "You should be sentenced to life with no chance of parole."
It's a bit harsh. It reminds me of the one about the woman the American was trying to make a cup of tea.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And
well,
she's-
this is similar. One guy on TikTok actually wrote, "Honestly, who hurt you?" Yeah.
Who
Now-
traumatised you as a child?
Exactly. Others said it was probably easier for to just buy a couple of plain wafers instead of going through the whole rigmarole of putting it under the bleeding tap. Just get a couple of wafers, woman. So if you want to go and see that, it's on TikTok. Put in Kit Kats, and you'll see the chocolate running smoothly off a chocolate bar.
I used to eat plain wafers. You know, you used to have to buy that. You can buy a pack of 48 wafers. I used to eat them like biscuits.
How many did you shove in?
I could get about 10 in at a time. I can open wide, mate.
Good. Right, okie dokie. The next one, we've all been and looked online at reviews for food, haven't we? Darren, not just pointing at you, don't get all prissy on it, but you like a takeaway, don't you? That's
Yes.
okay.
Forget I'm a snowflake. You
What,
careful.
what are you trying to say there, Damien?
No, I'm just saying, you know, he's a big bone guy that likes to every now have a
I've only had 5 this week.
wafers.
What a day.
Oh, good lord. Right, okay. So, this is all about a Chinese restaurant owner who was a little bit too honest for his own good with menu descriptions. Now, the restaurant was a Chinese restaurant, and he actually described his food as not very good. He was then praised by people on Twitter for being extremely honest. Now, this is one of these pages where you go on it, like Just Eat or something, it's got reviews on it. Now, I looked into this and I went on Google to see some of the reviews that he's had. So the actual restaurant itself is called the Aunt Dai, and it's in Montreal in Canada. And the owner is
Good
called
luck with the accent for this one, then.
the owner is called Fi Kang Fi.
Did he have a hit single with Gangnam Style as well?
Now, this will be interesting for you, Darren, so don't salivate too much. The dishes
Wow.
include orange beef, okay? Now, on the review...
What? Orange beef?
Orange beef, yeah. Now, Fi Fang Fi describes this as not that good.
Damien, no.
Compare-
Damien, no. Just do
Okay.
it normally.
Not that good.
No, Damien. Normal.
Rein him in.
Not that good. No.
No, just normal.
Okay.
Try a Redditch accent.
So, basically...
All
Fi
right,
Fang
Pap.
Fi- The orange beef, in my opinion, isn't that good compared to the restaurant's chili chicken. He then goes on to reveal that his sweet and spicy pork strips aren't that nice. They're a bit fatty. What's he doing? I mean, if you were looking at reviews of this, can you imagine Darren going, "All right, love. Oh, time for a Chinese. Oh, that one's a bit fatty. Should we get that in, love?"
I want to know what orange beef is. Why would you have orange with beef?
I bet it's a bit like duck à l'orange, beans or something, I don't know.
That's
So
just...
he moves on then to talk about his satay sauce beef. He turns around and says, "This is new on our menu. And to be honest, I haven't really tried it yet. I've been far too busy." Looks like I should spend a bit more time in my own restaurant. What do you think you should? You prat. Now he moves on then to the mouth-watering chicken. It's very well known, and to be honest, we're not 100% satisfied with this one. We may even take it off the menu.
Brilliant.
Take it off the menu, for goodness sake. So he goes on then to talk about the pepper chicken salad, and he says that this plate will show you how Chinese cuisine should be. It's unfortunate we can't make it like that.
I like. That's quite a good one. That one.
Oh, very good.
The potato julienne dish is very popular in China, but it's not popular in Canada. Since it's been reviewed, it's had 7,300 likes, 12,100 retweets, and it's fair to say that the restaurant is doing very well, with all the honesty, and he describes his orange beef as his best seller, and he says it's music to his ears.
And that was Damien's Bits. There'll be more bits next week. I'm not sure they'll be wet and moist, but you never know. Wet and moist.
You can't say that.
I can, and I will. Apparently, according to Anthony, Block, or Blokioff, is at least one player. Well, that would make sense. There is one seeker and the rest hiders. The hiders hide and try not to be seen. The hider's job is to get back to the den and say Blocky without the seeker seeing them. No, that's not called Blocky. That's called
Hold on a
Aki
minute.
123.
Aki wants to, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ron Weasley.
No.
Seekers?
Do you remember Aki 123, Darren?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Yes, it's Aki 123, not Blocky 123. No, it's Aki 123.
Oh, he's from Cheshire.
Oh,
He's stuck up that way, you see.
yeah. Not
Yeah.
Blocky 123, it's Aki 123. I remember playing that at school. That's when British Bulldog got banned. We have to play something else.
I mean, it's like we'll say a slice of bread is bread. In Congleton or Cheshire, a slice of bread is a slice of yeast.
In some circles, it's an infection too.
Well, pretty much most of Redditch. Right. A lot of it in the time from Damien, not so much now, obviously, but
Was he a super spreader?
I was a vector.
vector of infection.
For goodness sake. Honestly, my friend who was covering my my post when I was went travelling, he said, "We've got another thing through from hospital about your test results." I was like, I don't know what you're on about. Seriously, I had that many rashes from Thailand.
Oh dear. Right.
The new variant's called Damien Lee variant.
I think it may well be. Yeah. It's spiky and a little bit soft.
Protein hangs on the ends.
Jeez. Darren, anyway, have I mentioned you like a good restaurant, don't you?
Yeah, why?
No, let's pull it back. Let's move on.
Anthony says he'll go back to listening to Heart, Darren. Sorry. That's your listener gum.
I do as well anyway.
Yeah. Microphone down. Change channel.
No, I know. And it just...
We're live. I don't do... If my boss is listening, by the way, I don't do that. I focus on the show 100%. I don't do anything else.
Well, let's be honest, it's only your boss that listens anyway.
I remember when we did Hospital Radio, it's like, oh, you must listen to all the music. It's like, no, as soon as the microphone goes down, the music goes off. It's like, I don't want to listen to it. Well, I have a natter.
All my aunties and uncles are like, oh, you work on the radio. You must love your music. Nah.
People say to me, you're a DJ. You should know that. It's like, I don't know music at all. I just read what's played out in front of me. That's it.
Has anyone ever said to you, Ian, oh, I like that song that you play. What's that song that goes? And then they say the words and you go, I don't know.
Do you know, I was watching Hit List on BBC One. It's such a simple idea, but it is so good. And Roman Kemp was on it with his dad. And he hardly knew any music whatsoever. And you sort of think, you're a capital breakfast show DJ. You should at least know the new stuff. He didn't have a clue.
That was the week a couple of Asian brothers were on there, and they nailed it, didn't they? Do you remember?
Yes. Yeah, it was... Some of I'm no good at intros. I'm thinking of one that was like played about 10 seconds ago. So I would be no good on there. Right, you are listening to Three Men and a Microphone live on Facebook and on YouTube. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. If you are watching at the moment, then why not share all of the posts that we put out for the Facebook group and all of the stuff like that. You can sort of join us in building this podcast up. We've got big plans for this year, which we're not going to go into, but we've been doing a lot of discussing, and we really want to make the Three Men and a Microphone podcast something special. So you can help us by doing that. If you've got a family member that's listening to podcasts, if you've got friends that listen to podcasts, just drop them a message or just say, oh, by the way, I found this brilliant podcast, have a listen. If they don't like it, they don't like it. But the more people that listen, one or two of them like it, one or two of them listen every week, it grows us, we get bigger, we get more and more I was going to say more and more out of this. That's wrong, but you know what I mean.
Exposure.
Thank
we
you.
get more exposure.
More exposure.
So even better, and we can get better people on it as well. And we've got to say, we did the stats from who listens to this. We've got to say hello to Australia. Got to say hello to America. What other countries were listening?
New Zealand, I think, was one of them.
Yeah, we had New Zealand on there as well. So again, thank you to and we don't say it lightly. Thank you so much. Last week, and if some of the people that listen to the Joe Show have now and this is one point to say, actually, we record this live purely for a bit of entertainment for the people that come in nearly every week. The biggest focus for us here is the podcast, and I think when you download the podcast, that's the part that we really want to grow. So the Facebook stuff is all great, and sometimes we might get 4 people, sometimes we might get 80, we might get 100. It's not about that for us. We're loving you watching, but for us, it's the love that we get from the podcast as well, because that's the name of the show, isn't it? Really,
the podcast you can listen to us wherever you like. You could be in the bath on a Tuesday night. You could be on the way to work, streaming it through your fancy car on a Wednesday morning. It doesn't matter when you listen to it, as long as you give it a listen and you give it a share. That's it.
I got a new car this week.
Oh, did you? Did you get a Millennium Falcon Vauxhall?
Yeah, it's sat on the drive and it's probably not going to go anywhere for about the next 6 months. But anyway, it's there. I can look at it. Right, should we do Retro Hall of Fame?
Let's do it.
Clean cut, everybody.
It's time to delve into the archive
For the Retro Hall of Fame.
on the Three Men and a Microphone podcast.
So this is the Retro Hall of Fame. This is basically where we get presented with an item. It could be a piece of clothing, it could be a film, it could be a TV show, it could be some food, it could be whatever that then gets discussed, and then we decide if it goes into the Retro Hall of Fame or not. So we've had one entry into the Retro Hall of Fame. Any of the ones that don't succeed, we never talk about again. The first one to go in was last week's from Joe Lycett, was the Celebrity Big Brother 2006. If you want to suggest a Retro Hall of Fame, then email asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com, asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com, or send us a tweet on Twitter, or send us a message on Facebook. Just search the As Yet Unnamed Podcast, and we will get you on at some point in the future to discuss your Retro Hall of Fame entry. That may be live, it may be pre-recorded, we can work around you, but we will get you on to discuss it. So, and we've also got another celebrity Retro Hall of Fame coming up very soon. But this week, for the first time, it is Damien's choice for the entry into the Retro Hall of Fame. So, Mr. Lee, can you please tell us when this music finishes and we do the big out? Almost. What is your Retro Hall of Fame nomination for this week?
In many cultures, it's been called different names. In the USA, it was known as a fanny pack. In Ireland, it was known as a G-bag.
Was it?
In Italy, it was called a marsupia. In Costa Rica, the bag was called Skippy or Kingaroo.
Your accents are crap, I have to say. They're really bad.
However, in the UK, it was simply known as a bum bag. Now, to give you a bit of an idea, if some people who are thinking, what on earth is that? So basically, the bum bag, it's a small fabric pouch. It's worn like a belt around the waist by use of a strap above the hips, and it's secured usually with some sort of buckle. The straps sometimes have tri-glide slides, making them adjustable in order to fit properly. it can be considered as a purse worn around the waist. Although traditionally the bag worn with a pouch at the front, the separate American and British names derive from the fact that they are often worn with the pouch above the buttocks, for which fanny and bum are the respective slang terms in each country. The British and Irish usage of fanny is vulgar slang for vulva.
You just picked this so you could say that word, didn't you?
The name fanny pack is rarely used in those countries or in Australia. The modern version was made from synthetic materials, came into use in the 1980s, and there was especially prominent in the 1990s. In 2012, it had a bit of a comeback, and to this day, people wear them to put USBs in, bottles of water, tissue paper, sorry.
Tissue paper? What, they're going to go tracing? They're going to go tracing bark, are they? Or something?
No, he had a job with animals or something. We talked about that earlier. In other cultures, particularly France, they're called banana bags.
Is that because they look like bananas?
Oh my god! And here's a good one. In Spain, they're known as kidney bags. A kidney bag. Oh my goodness me. Now in July 2018, the Boston Globe reported that fanny packs are back in vogue, with new packs introduced by fashion designers such as Gucci, Prada and Louis Vuitton. Some of the celebrities that I'm not calling it a fanny pack, it's a bum bag. The people that were wearing them are Kim Kardashian, Rihanna, Jaden Smith and Russell Westbrook. So I give you, gentlemen, my entry into the Retro Hall of Fame is the bum bag.
Can I go first, please, chaps? This was a perfect compliment to the shell suit.
No, we can't mention it.
Oh, okay, sorry. To a tracksuit of similar sort of the time and the era. I had a collection of these. These were brilliant because if I was old enough and technology would have speeded up a little bit, we could have put our mobile phones in them. We could have put our car keys in them and all that kind
You've
of stuff.
You've got pockets.
No, because I'm carrying around. I want a man bag, so a bum bag.
I used to have to put my bus pass in there. Remember a bus pass when you were a teenager?
Yeah.
Used to put them in there. Used to put my old Transformer crisps when I hadn't quite finished them. Screwed them up, put them in my bum bag.
If you watch TV programs now I'm going to namely, in particular, Clarkson, Hammond and May. They have them on the bums and they put all their electronics in them. Have you not noticed this when they do?
Yeah, they're not bum bags, though.
Yeah, but they are similar.
No,
they're not.
Similar. They're not the ones that Damien. Damien is talking about the brightly coloured pieces of atrocious fabric that you used to strap around your waist.
What did you?
How dare you?
It's true. It's true. Right.
I think we know where this is going already.
I am going to because this is. I've got a feeling this could be a tie. So I'm going to throw this open to the people watching us live on Facebook. Which, if you want to, you can do every Wednesday at 8:00 when we record this. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, just give us a comment. Does it go into the Retro Hall of Fame or does it not? Because I think we may need a tie-break vote. Now, I am going to say I've seen there's a similar thing now where you see people walking around with them and they go over the shoulder rather than around the waist.
Yeah.
So they've got them now. I still think they look stupid. I thought they were stupid back then. I probably did have one. There was something that you would normally see older fat men wearing on holiday when they're walking down the beach with their sandals and socks on. And their stupid hats and their flip flops or something, and
no,
they've got
seriously.
these, and they've got the shush. They've got the big belly hanging over, and they've got these, these bum bags wrapped around their waist, and they go in and they go, "Oh, I'm just going to get my little euros out for you. There you go. Have you got any chips?" And all that sort of stuff. No.
Do you know what? Someone said to me the other day, they were like, that Ian who presents with you, any moody, any miserable. And do you know
I'm not moody and miserable. I am pointing out that they are a fashion disaster.
Darren, I'm going to put it over to you. Is the bum bag going into the Retro Hall of Fame?
Before I give you my answer, you can actually go to an actual bum bag shop in Benidorm.
Mm.
Well, there you go. And I'm not being snobby, but proves a point.
Right. For me...
Oh, I'm going on holiday today. Where are you going?
Oh, glass. I clean glass and I have, I drink out of a glass and I walk on the path. And I cut the grass and I have a bath.
Look, get your protractor out and go and How yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So,
For me-
Darren, I
for
ask
me-
you again.
Yeah, for me, it is an absolute 1,000,000%, and I would have one tomorrow. Yes.
God bless you, sir.
For me,
From me-
it is a big fat. No, the person presenting it doesn't get a chance to vote on it, Damien. You know the rules. For me, it is a big, massive, fat, steaming pile of no chance whatsoever. So we
So,
are tied. We are going
down to your listeners because my Facebook feed has stopped,
No,
so I don't
no,
have any.
no. Right, okay, that's fine. But yeah, it's going on the live chat on our thing on Facebook and on YouTube. I will just check if anyone on Facebook. So out of the people watching it, it is a no in the sin bin. No, not a chance. No. I am sorry,
Disgusting.
Damien. You have been outvoted 2-1. It is. No, okay. Try and save it, but you're not gonna. It's not gonna work.
Darren,
Yeah.
maybe, if you want to, you come when it's safe and legal to do so.
I mean, you could wear one at the same time. Be
Yeah,
inside one.
and like I'll call mine a kidney bag, and you
And I'll
can cause
call
yours
a fatty bum bag.
Darren, I'll just warn you: when Damien starts to get naked with it on, run very quickly. So, unfortunately, the bum bag, stroke fanny pack, stroke banana bag, stroke kidney bag is not going into the Retro Hall of Fame, which means it can only go one place. It is time to open the doors to the hole of despair. Another failed nomination into the Retro Hall of Fame. Do you notice I'm putting mine off longer and longer and longer before I have to decide one?
Have you also noticed there's a pattern forming here? I'm just not trendy or cool in any slightest
No,
way.
definitely not. So don't forget.
Could you picture me with said tracksuit and bum bag and cap at the same time?
Yes.
Yes, I saw you on Crime Watch in 1996.
If you've got a Retro Hall of Fame you would like to nominate, then email asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com, asyetUnnamedpodcast@gmail.com, and we will get you on at some point in the future to put your case for your Retro Hall of Fame item. Next week, I think we may have a special celebrity one, so listen out for that. Right, that was the Retro Hall of Fame on the Three Men and a Microphone. Dunk just said there were normally German tourists as well that had them on, which is very true.
You know we're still alive, don't you? Don't get all
What?
stereotypical.
Well, it was as they were putting their towels on the
Oh,
bed.
here we go.
Right.
Put that out.
Who's going to listen? Lots of people. Hey. Anyway, so I think it's time we finish the the recording bit. That's the one I want. Right. Are we ready for the goodbyes?
Yeah.
If we can keep it down to about 30 seconds each, that'd be great.
Damien, don't do your Jerry Springer ending again. Just,
I'm sorry, because I'm the only one that's,
we're all in this together, and we're gonna have
wow.
fine, and there's sunshine on the horizon.
Oh, my.
Don't you worry about this.
He's suddenly animated. Honestly, it's only taken him 38 shows to be live. The other ones, he just sat in the corner. Oh, book! Oh! Book! Oh!
Bookhole.
Jeez. Honestly, tonight he's got a sense of humour and joined in. What a... Go, ready? What an absolute...
That's going in the demo.
Right, let's do this. Clean edit. And that is it for episode 38 of Three Men and a Microphone. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you, Darren.
Thank you very much, Captain. Thank you very much, Brother Damo. Bit of pleasure, never a chore.
Thank you very much, Damien.
Thanks.
That will either make sense if I put the last bit in, or it won't make sense at all. Go on, Damien.
I say it every week. Stay safe, follow the rules. We'll be out of this soon. And be nice to each other.
It's almost been 12 months. I think it could be here for another 12 months.
My name's Bill Murray.
Thank you so much for downloading and listening to the podcast. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Search the As Yet Unnamed Podcast. Why not give us an email, asyetUnnamedPodcast@gmail.com. And you can watch us live every Wednesday evening, Facebook and YouTube. Until next Monday, look after yourself. Stay well, stay safe. All of that stuff. This has been the 3 Media production of the As Yet Unnamed Podcast. Ah, that's wrong. It's the first time I'm saying that and I've got it wrong. I'll do that bit again. I'm not going to edit it, you know. This won't go in the demo now. This has been a 3 Men in the Microphone production. No, that's wrong as well. What is it?
Do you want me to do it for you?
No, it's fine. I'll get there. 3 Men in the Microphone is a These 3 Media production. Until next week, look after yourselves. Bye for now.
Three men and a microphone. Like a breakfast show, but not at breakfast. And with no music. And it's a podcast. So nothing like a breakfast show, really.
And we are done.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yeah, coffee.
I thought that last bit went really well, didn't you? I thought it, you know,
I think that was the best part of the show. You know what I mean? Set up a company together and completely twatted up at the end. It's brilliant.
3 men and a microphone production of a third blah 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 blah.
We have a lot to discuss, guys, because I'm conscious of the time. So.
Okay, well, are you saying you've had enough and you want to end the live show?
I think we need to.
I'm just going to
have a week.
No, Damien, can you just
shut up?
No, Damien, can you just take over and just say a few words for one of our friends?
Yeah. We've all been in a position, I think, at times where we've said that, you know, how bad lockdown is, and it is, and it's hard. It's even harder for people that have lost loved ones and have lost friends. And you know, we empathise, and we can't pass on our condolences enough. It also becomes very real when someone you've known for a long time is poorly, and he's been an absolutely incredible father, an incredible guy in general that, you know, has grown up a hell of a lot since I knew him, and he's fought like a trooper. And he's going to be going into hospice very soon. And I just wanted to say, from someone who spent time with you, Wes, it was a pleasure, mate. And I hope when you spent some time with me and Darren, you picked up a little bit of humour and a little bit of laughter. And there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of love around for your children. And, you know, we'll keep that memory of you going, mate. And we love you, dude. God love you.
Thank you very much. And that is it from us for this week. Thank you so much for watching us on Facebook and YouTube. We'll be back again next Wednesday evening from 8 o'clock. Don't forget to have a listen to the podcast. Look after yourselves. Say hello to the people that you love. Remind them that you do. And all of that sort of stuff, because everybody is going through a lot of tough stuff at the moment. Until next Wednesday, look after yourselves, and we will see you soon. 3 Men and a Microphone is a These 3 Media production. Good night.